That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Meyers.
Listen up, Carolinas. It's the Start Something New sales event at Lake Norman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Save up to 25% off MSRP on in-stock new vehicles. We guarantee to beat any deal in the nation. I-77 exit 28 or LakeNormanChrysler.com.
Hi, this is Joshua Dobie. Join me Thursdays at 4 p.m. for Dollars and Cents, a show that focuses on your personal financial journey and the markets around us. That's Dollars and Cents, Thursday afternoons at 4 here on WSIC.
Local leaders, top stories, the news that matters most to you. The News Drive at 5 with host Patrick Reynolds starts now.
Welcome to the News Drive at 5 here for January the 8th, 2024. I'm your host, Patrick Reynolds. Thank you for spending your drive home with us this afternoon on WSIC News Talk Radio, 105.9 FM in Lake Norman, 100.7 FM and 1400 AM in Iredell County, anywhere in the world on WSICnews.com. and the WSIC socials. We are live, the video feed on Facebook, the platform formerly known as Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You just heard Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Heard every Monday right here at 4 p.m. on WSIC. 704-873-1400 will get you online with us to join the show, beginning with our top 5 at 5. Number 1, we've got more incoming weather for the area as we have an alert for flash flooding tomorrow. Carolina Weather Group meteorologist Chase Meyers will join us shortly. We have an update on the motorcyclist that came close to hitting a Troutman student as he exited a stopped school bus last week. Sections of Mooresville suffered a power outage on Sunday night. McGuire Nuclear Station schedules a siren test. We'll tell you when. And Iredell Statesville School's 24-25 calendar could be finalized or at least proposed this evening. Our lead story: a powerful storm system is forecast to hit our area on Tuesday. Rain is scheduled to begin early Tuesday morning and grow heavier as the day goes on. The Charlotte area is expected to get about 2 to 3 inches of rain. The expected totals will likely lead to flooding concerns for the region from Charlotte to areas further west. Another cause for concern will be strong winds. The 20 to 30 mile per hour winds likely. They're going to lead to some power outages and downed trees. There is also a tornado risk for the afternoon from Charlotte to eastern parts of the region. As we said, meteorologist Chase Meyers will join the News Drive at 5 shortly after the break. We did have a caller. I'm checking with my producer. Do we have a caller? We do have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Welcome to the News Drive at 5.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing very good. Is this Yolanda from iCats?
This is Yolanda from iCats. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. How was the weekend? And better question, how are you doing on your Monday drive home?
Oh, Monday drive home is going perfectly. I should be getting off on time. Traffic is good, flowing very nicely. Can't say anything else about it.
Where are you right now so you can give our audience a little bit of a reference point of the clear roads that you were seeing?
I am downtown Charlotte. I'm near the Charlotte Transportation Center here on 4th Street.
Okay.
And everything is quiet. Everything is good.
Well, this is the first, I guess, official back-to-work Monday for 2024, so let's hope that it continues to roll that way. Yolanda, we thank you for the update.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You too. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Yolanda with iCats calling in, checking in with us here at WSIC. No traffic issues to report as of yet. We got 5:09 p.m. just coming up on 5:10 p.m. Eastern Time, January the 8th, 2024. Thank you to Yolanda for iCats. We're going to hopefully talk to her every day from now on, get you a traffic update during the News Drive at 5 during our hour with you. As we talked earlier, we could have weather in the area tomorrow, and we will have an update on that in the next segment. Right now, we've got an update on the story from last week where a motorcycle rider came close to hitting a student in Troutman as he exited a school bus. Right now, we have a Davidson man has been arrested in connection with the incident in which an elementary school student was almost struck by that motorcycle at his bus stop on Thursday. The North Carolina Highway Patrol announced the arrest of Ishmael Gonzalez. Gonzalez's arrest stems from that near miss. It occurred on Carlisle Road in Troutman about 2:38 p.m. on Thursday. The video released from Iredell Statesville Schools on Friday showed the student nearly get hit by a motorcycle as the student was crossing the road in front of the school bus. A member of the public gave Iredell Firewire founder Dan Gitro a tip about a possible location of the motorcyclist. The location was the McDonald's located at 497 River Highway in Mooresville. After comparing a photo of the suspect motorcycle with a photo of the motorcycle at the restaurant, Gitro contacted local law enforcement. Troopers responded and interviewed Gonzalez, which led to his arrest. Gitro said this is just another example of the good Iredell Firewire does for the citizens of Iredell County. Iredell Firewire, a good Facebook page. If you'd like to hop on your Facebook account, we're going to give 2 thumbs up for Iredell Firewire that helped keep WSIC News in the loop with information on this story as well as others in our listening pattern. We got to give Iredell Firewire credit as they are a good collaborator with us. Their stories, they keep the public informed and also a good partner with us. So we want to give a lot of credit to them in helping us keep you informed as well here on the News Drive at 5. Now, the Iredell Statesville School Board of Education delayed a vote on the school calendar last month because members could not decide whether to implement a calendar that violates North Carolina school calendar laws. The school board is expected to revisit this matter and adopt a calendar tonight during the regular meeting, which begins at 6 p.m. at the Career Academy and Technical School in Troutman. Now, for the 2024 to 25 school year, ISS Director of Accountability, Testing, and Student Information, Laura Elliott, presented 2 calendars for the board last one. Option 1, the school year will begin on August 12th, 2024, and the last day of school would be May 23rd, 2025. The first semester would end prior to the winter break. Students would attend school for 176 days or 1,056 hours. Option 2, the start date would be August 26th, 2024, and the last day of school would be June 10th, 2025. The first semester would end after the winter break in mid-January. Students would attend school for a total of 179 days or 1,074 hours. In the past, the district, with the support of the Iredell County Board of Commissioners, has requested that the General Assembly allow local boards of education authority to set their own school calendar. School officials argue that existing state law forces students to take their final exams after winter break and causes misalignment for early college high school students. You are listening to the News Drive at 5, and after the break coming up, we will talk to Chase Meyers of the Carolina Weather Group. He's going to give us an update on the incoming storm. Evidently, this winter storm looks to be a rain and wind event for our area near Charlotte, Iredell County, Lake Norman, etc., but all up and down the Midwest and possibly the East Coast, it could be adding snow in quite a bit. It's a winter storm, looks to be somewhat treacherous. It depends on what part of the nation that you are in. We're going to keep you updated, and we won't even be guessing with you. We'll have Chase Meyers as you listen to his reports here throughout the day on WSIC. He will be on air with us, give you the details, and we're going to know what to expect tomorrow during this winter storm, possibly, hopefully, rain and wind event. You're listening to the News Drive at 5. I am Patrick Reynolds, and we will be back right after this.
It doesn't matter who you ask.
Siri, Google, Alexa.
The best talk is on
105.9, 100.7, WSIC.
Well, enjoy your Monday. Probably just want a little something extra on the arms to keep you warm today. We have sunshine with highs in the upper 40s, but we need to pay attention to our Tuesday. Use today as your day to tie things down, maybe secure some loose items in the yard. We have a lot of rain and a lot of wind on the way for our Tuesday. Some of that rain could be quite heavy at times. Winds gusting over 40 miles per hour as we work our way later in the day. We'll need to watch for flooding and the chance for a couple thunderstorms, too. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Meyers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Rocky Lynn is playing at Kane Center for the Arts Saturday, January 20th. Having performed all over the world, written hit songs, and mentored artists, Rocky Lynn is making another stop here at home. Rocky Lynn, Saturday, January 20th. KaneArts.org. That's CAIN Arts.org. Quilters and Knitters Unite! The Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza is happening this month at the Statesville Civic Center, Friday, January 26th and 27th. Admission is $5. Come explore the many beautiful fabrics, styles, and maybe even buy a new sewing machine. The Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza at Statesville Civic Center on January 26th and 27th. Birkdale on Ice is still going on through January 28th. Time to lace up your skates and hit the ice. To make sure you can skate when you want, we recommend you making a reservation. For skate session info, including times and pricing, visit birkdalevillage.com. Mooresville Parks and Recreation presents The Hitmen of Country, playing at the Charles Mack Citizen Center Friday, January 19th. Love country music? The Hitmen of Country have toured and recorded with some of the country's greatest artists, like Keith Urban, Trace Adkins, Travis Tritt, and Jason Aldean. For more information, go to visitmooresville.com. That's visitmooresville.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Lowry Drug is a source for excellent pharmacy services. We have served the Statesville community since 1959. We have attentive customer service, a state-of-the-art compounding laboratory, and the Dispill medication packaging system that takes the work out of medication management for those using medication planners. We do it for you. Come see us at Lowry Drug in Statesville. Call 704-873-2247. Come see us.
Hey, Chase, thanks for calling in. We're going to be on in about 5 seconds.
Okay, thanks, man.
Welcome back to the News Drive at 5 for January the 8th, 2024, here on WSIC News Talk Radio. I am your host, Patrick Reynolds, and joining us on the hotline, meteorologist from the Carolina Weather Group. He joined us last week. We had some to talk about. We've got more to talk about. Chase Meyers joins us. How are you, Chase?
Hey, good evening, guys. How you doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well here. We just got done chatting with you on Friday, prepared us for a very wet Saturday, and as you predicted and told us, we're getting ready to put the rain gear back on again for Tuesday. What is going on out there?
Yeah, I believe we talked last week. I said It probably wouldn't be the last time within a couple of days. That
you are correct.
No, we're in a very active weather pattern right now. We talk a lot about El Nino, and it's talked a lot about that being our pattern for the winter. And a lot of times, people like to equate that to being snow, but it isn't always that way. And we've kind of been figuring that out here over the last couple of weeks, right? We have a couple of dry days, and then usually every 3 to 5 days, we're getting a new system heading our way. So, we're taking them one at a time, sort of like we have been. First one was last week, second one was Saturday, and now we have another one on the way for tomorrow. And while this does look to be a lot of rain, I think even more serious than that, I would call tomorrow a serious weather day for the Carolinas, for Statesville, the Lake Norman area as well. And the reason for that being is, maybe not so much in the way of thunderstorms, even though that's a possibility. It's really more so with all the rain and the wind itself that we're going to have, even outside of thunderstorms. So we do have rain on the way for tomorrow, and quite a lot of that. Especially, if you go north of Statesville, north of Lake Norman, if you go up into the foothills and even up into the mountains, I would be concerned not only about the heavy rain that we'll get, but also about the potential for flooding. And that really could be anywhere across the area, but I probably would say an even heightened risk, even more heightened risk if you go up over the foothills and the higher elevations there. Drainage is poor. A lot of times when you get a system like this too, you get a thing without going into the woods too much called moisture upglide. And so basically what you have is all of that moisture and all that wind being lifted up over the higher terrain, and it actually causes more rain, or training rain that we call it, where it rains really, really heavy over one area for a long amount of time. So I would be concerned about that. Rain is going to be an all-day thing. Some of it torrential, some of it really heavy, especially as we get into the afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Now, of course, along with that, we're also going to have really, really gusty winds. If you go up over the foothills, up into the mountains, high wind warnings have been issued for those areas. We could see wind gusts on the order of 40 to 50 miles per hour. Some of those may be higher than that, especially in the thunderstorms that we get. So you also have to kind of think back to the last couple of weeks. We've had a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks, several inches. And the ground, if you step outside right now, you'll notice, hey, the ground's a little bit mushy and a little bit wet under your feet. So we're talking about adding 2 to 3, maybe possibly more in some isolated areas than that with this system tomorrow. You couple that with the high winds, that is a recipe for down trees and for power outages. And while I don't expect everybody to have that, of course, I think that's something that we'll need to watch out for tomorrow, as well as ponding on the roadways with heavy rainfall and just flooding overall as a general risk for tomorrow. There have been a lot of school systems across the area, that have said, hey, we're going to dismiss early, or we're going to cancel evening activities for that reason. And when you put buses on a road that's flooded along with high wind, a lot of times that can be dangerous. So I think that's maybe part of the reason why we're seeing those school systems cancel or dismiss early. You do have to talk about the storm risk because it's there, but the further west that we are, the better off we are with just a low chance of a couple storms. 1 or 2 of those may be severe. If you go a little further to the east into the Triad, a little bit better of a risk there. If you go further into the sandhills of North Carolina, eastern North Carolina, and down along the coast, now we're talking about a pretty heightened risk of severe storms and a pretty heightened risk of tornadoes along the coast in eastern North Carolina, actually. So while that is a concern around this area, it's not a super heightened risk. I would just say, hopefully you've used today. If not, you still got some daylight. Use this evening and tonight as your prep time. If there's anything loose in the yard, if you got a trampoline, tie it down. If you have loose items, decorations, bring those inside, put them in the garage if you can. Trash cans, it might sound silly, but a wind like that will send your trash can on down to the neighbors down the road. So secure those things, bring those things in, and just sort of prepare for tomorrow. Make sure the gutters are clean, the drains around your house are clean with all of that rain on the way. But it's out of here by Wednesday morning. But tomorrow's one of those days where we need to pay attention. And even though our storm risk is low, make sure you have a way to get warnings if they're issued, whether that be your phone, whether that be a news app or a weather app that'll alert you if warnings get issued. If you have a weather radio, that's great. But just make sure you have a way to get warnings if they're issued tomorrow in case there are severe storms or tornadoes.
Chase, you told us last week that earlier in the winter we were in a drought and it was dry. Then we've got some significant rainfall now. Does this put us in a surplus, and is that what is leading to the potential for flooding with this incoming storm?
Yeah, really good question. Seems funny that a month ago we were talking about an extensive drought.
Yeah. Not
just here, but all across North Carolina. We've had so much rain over the last month that we are out of that. We're completely out of that drought, and especially western North Carolina. If you go up a little further toward Hickory, up into the mountains, and even Statesville, Lake Norman, that area, pretty much all of that has been corrected. And while we are not dry, I wouldn't say we have a huge surplus of rain either. It's kind of funny, with a really dry ground, it takes a little while for that to saturate and a lot of it to get soaked up. So while we do have a little bit of a surplus, a little bit extra rain would help. Of course, you don't want to get 2 to 3 inches in one day. That kind of negates the issue there with a lot of runoff and a lot of flooding concern. But we're definitely out of the drought. We continue to get rain like this, we're not going to be talking about drought for a long time. Again, a lot of rain, short amount of time, is a little less beneficial because of all the runoff. So that's why we're concerned about flooding tomorrow.
For our audience, what would you say would be their number one concern right now? We've talked flooding, we've talked the rain, possible wind. There's a lot going on here. It could give us a little bit of a headache in more than one level. What do you think is the number one concern for the audience here?
Number one concern I would say would be for wind.
Okay.
The flooding is up there, but flooding and wind are sort of side by side. If I had to stock one on top of the other, I'd say wind. Just because even without the rain that we'll get tomorrow, you already have a saturated ground, and so it doesn't take a lot. A 25 to 30 mile per hour windy day is normal. You start to get into 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts, and now we're starting to get a little more concerned. It doesn't take a lot to topple trees when it's dry. Now the ground is loose, the roots are loose. That kind of wind will definitely blow over some trees, and I would say by the evening will have some power outages across the area. Obviously, I'm not saying that's going to be your neighborhood or your backyard, but that's what I would be concerned with the most is with the wind.
I was part of a networking group that actually had a scheduled event in the morning down in Charlotte, on the north side of Charlotte. They've already postponed that. With the forecast that you see, do you expect more moves like that, for us to hear about that, of people just postponing or rescheduling events? Is this that big of a deal for rain and wind tomorrow morning for folks?
Well, if you think back to Saturday, a lot of folks got concerned Friday afternoon, because we saw salt trucks, in parts of the area, salting trucks. And while freezing rain, icing wasn't a huge concern, I think that was really a, hey, we're better safe than sorry approach. And I think the same kind of thing tomorrow too. It's almost like a domino effect. You get one group or one school to cancel something, and everybody kind of falls in line. So same kind of thing with events like that. If one's canceled, I'd say you'd probably see a handful more of those being canceled. Really, honestly, though, early on tomorrow, it's going to be messy. It's going to be rainy, but I would be more concerned about the afternoon and evening. That's where things kind of kick up a little bit. But it'll be wet. It'll be a messy morning commute tomorrow. The evening commute tomorrow will be a bit, tricky. So right. I would say just pack patience, be a little extra careful, plan some extra time both ways coming and going tomorrow.
Let's talk a few more days beyond that. We're preparing for this on Tuesday. You've given us a good rundown. What do we expect for the rest of the week after we get finished with Tuesday?
Well, we're still in an active pattern, so we get done with tomorrow. We're dry. Gives us a chance to soak some of that up for Wednesday and Thursday. Both those days have sunshine. But then it looks like we may have another system on the way with some rain for Friday into early Saturday morning. That doesn't look to be anything like tomorrow does. But like I said, kind of taking them one at a time. Give a couple of days to dry out, and then we'll worry about some rain on the way for Friday. We'll get through tomorrow and then start to focus on that.
So Friday, is that also still part of this El Nino pattern that we're experiencing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll put a little tidbit in there, too.
Sure.
North Carolina snow lovers are starting to get antsy. 710-ish days since we had measurable snow in the area. And while we haven't really had an opportunity for that, the weather pattern stays fairly active as we go through the rest of January. When you look long term, it does look like the really middle end of January is going to be colder. So, hey, there may be a little more opportunity there, but we stay at least pretty active for the next couple of weeks. Doesn't necessarily mean a new super wet system every 2 days, but January I think is going to keep us on our toes through the end.
Well, 710 days of measurable snow. I am not one of those folks that gets too excited about snow. I'm happy to add to the 710. So I appreciate the statistics, and I appreciate the update very much. Thank you on behalf of our audience for keeping us informed on this weather incoming here.
Sure, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your show, and of course we'll be back with you tomorrow with more updates.
Okay, we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you so much, Chase. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Chase Meyers, everybody, Carolina Weather Group, keeping us updated here throughout the day here on WSIC. You hear their updates here at WSIC News Talk Radio, and Chase joining us for the second time in, I think, 5 broadcasts of the News Drive at 5. Weather has been an issue here. We'll keep you informed. We'll keep you up to date on the traffic, on the latest headlines, and especially the weather. That's what's making news. We'll keep you in the loop. You are listening to the News Drive at 5 here on WSIC News Talk Radio. North Charlotte, Lake Norman, Iredell County, western side of the Lake Norman. I'm your host, Patrick Reynolds. We'll talk to you right after this.
When it comes to great talk on the radio, we do everything by the book. Just kidding. We don't read.
Talk Radio, WSIC.
Well, enjoy your Monday. Probably just want a little something extra on the arms to keep you warm today. We have sunshine with highs in the upper 40s, but we need to pay attention to our Tuesday. Use today as your day to tie things down. Maybe secure some loose items in the yard. We have a lot of rain and a lot of wind on the way for our Tuesday. Some of that rain could be quite heavy at times. Winds gusting over 40 miles per hour as we work our way later in the day. We'll need to watch for flooding and the chance for a couple thunderstorms, too. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Meyers.
Listen up, Carolinas. It's the Start Something New sales event at Lake Norman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Save up to 25% off MSRP on in-stock new vehicles. We guarantee to beat any deal in the nation. I-77 exit 28 or LakeNormanChrysler.com.
Cold weather is here, but that doesn't mean it has to be cold inside. At G&B Energy, we provide clean and efficient propane to heat your water heater, warm your home, and cook your meals, even when the power's out. We are a family-owned and North Carolina-grown business known for fair prices and expert service. Visit G&B Energy today on Intercraft Drive in Statesville or GNBenergy.com. G&B Energy, home of the $480 Renai tankless water heater. Restrictions apply. The Ugly Antenna has now become a household name in this area. The Ugly Antenna allows those without a streaming provider to receive up to 50 channels absolutely free of charge, including Fox 46.1. The Ugly Antenna is small and connects directly to your TV. Get the Ugly Antenna for just $40. Call 704-682-1755. That's 704-682-1755 for the Ugly Antenna.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-556-2974. 800-556-2974.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. 800-561-6.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-478-4170. 800-478-4170. 800-478-4170. That's 800-478-4170.
76 years strong, and we're still the one. WSIC. News. Talk. Now.
Keeping you informed so you're not the moron at the water cooler.
I arrive at the office informed.
105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to the News Drive at 5. I'm Patrick Reynolds here on WSIC News Talk Radio, 105.9 FM around Lake Norman, 100.7 and 1400 AM Iredell County. Anywhere in the world, WSICnews.com and the WSIC News social media channels, Facebook, X, YouTube, and LinkedIn, all carrying the video feed. And you may want to check out this morning's rebroadcast on demand of Good Morning LKN, hosted by Justin Kazepis and Mamie Lee. Both producer Joe and myself spent some time on the morning show today, January the 8th it is, 2024. So if you go on our social media channels, want to check out what we had to say, Joe will be coming up at the scoreboard at the top of the hour. We'll talk to him in a little bit. We just talked about WSIC and the programming. Good Morning LKN, a fun show. If you're looking for a local morning show here around the Lake Norman region, Good Morning LKN. Good for Statesville, Iredell County, west side of the lake. Justin and Mamie keeping you entertained and informed all morning long, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. weekday mornings here on WSIC. Mooresville experienced a small power outage due to trees down on power lines on Sunday night. Duke Energy reported that over 3,600 total customers had lost power, with 4 different power outages affecting the area. Estimated repair time last night was around 9:30. We believe everybody is back up and running there. It's a good thing because as we just talked to Chase Meyers, we could be experiencing more of that on Tuesday, January the 9th, with the incoming winter storm. Fortunately, on our end, it is wind and rain and not so much the big, heavy snowfall that looks to be affecting the Midwest and the northern part of the East Coast here in the United States. The McGuire Nuclear Station is having a siren test. Now, the outdoor warning sirens around the station, they will be tested between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January the 10th. The 67 sirens, yes, 67 that is, within 10 miles of the McGuire Nuclear Station will sound for 5 to 30 seconds. They ensure they are functioning properly. It may be necessary to test some sirens more than once. This test is performed in cooperation with emergency officials in Mecklenburg, Gaston, Iredell, Lincoln, and Catawba counties, who are responsible for sounding the sirens. Because this is a test, local broadcasting stations will not interrupt regular programming to broadcast emergency alert system messages. If there was a real emergency at the plant requiring the sirens to be sounded, local radio and television stations would broadcast information and instructions to the public. No public action is required. Again, those tests will be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January the 10th. Stations like WSIC, we keep you informed. If there was a real emergency, we would interrupt our programming to tell you what was going on. But on Wednesday, January the 10th, those sirens, can't stress enough, will be only a test, so don't expect the WSIC programming to change. Do you know an Iredell County resident who volunteers their time and efforts consistently? Someone who gets tirelessly of themselves to help others in our community? If so, now is your opportunity to nominate these exceptional volunteers for the 2024 North Carolina Governor's Volunteer Service Award. Nominating these outstanding community members is a great way to show how much their volunteer service is appreciated in the community. Now, the Governor's Volunteer Service Award honors the true spirit of volunteerism by recognizing individuals, groups, and businesses that significantly contribute to their community through volunteer service. Any person, group, or entity from the public, nonprofit, and private sectors can be nominated for an award. There are categories for the types of nominees, including seniors, youth, faith-based, family, group, and business, as well as others. Additional categories are based on the area of service, for instance, animals, environmental, disaster, youth, nature preservation, and others as well. The United Way of Iredell County is the designated office for receiving all volunteer nominations for the 2024 cycle. Fill out a nomination form, provide references supporting their nominees, and submit them to Linda Wahlberg by email at uwiredell.org. That's uwiredell.org. An awards committee will then review all qualified nominations and will choose up to 10 volunteers who will be selected for submission to the governor's office for consideration. All nominations must be submitted or postdated no later than January 26th, 2024, to be considered for the United Way of Iredell County's Award Committee. The selected award recipients will be honored at a volunteer recognition event later this year, where the United Way will celebrate their achievements and express our gratitude for their unwavering support to our community. 704-873-1400. You can join the show. Once again, 704-873-1400 if you'd like to talk to us here on the News Drive at 5 about any of our headline stories or maybe whatever's on your mind. As we had that traffic update earlier from Yolanda of iCats, if you are on your way home and spot anything that our eagle eyes have not, feel free to call in and share with us. 704-873-1400. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is providing 5,000 free residential radon test kits during Radon Action Month. Governor Roy Cooper has proclaimed January as Radon Action Month to raise the public's awareness of radon, promoting testing and mitigation for radon, and reduce the risk of lung cancer from radon. Testing is the only way to know if you or your family is at risk, and residents can order a free test kit while supplies last at the NCDHHS website. That's the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. Now, information provided by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention indicated that 73 of the 100 counties in North Carolina have indoor air levels of radon that are above safety standards. Everyone is exposed to some level of radon. The question is not if you are exposed, but how high is your level of exposure? Elevated indoor radon is a preventable and fixable problem similar in cost to other home improvements. The North Carolina Radon Program recommends hiring a certified radon mitigator to fix elevated levels. 704-873-1400. Join us in the studio, 704-873-1400. Coming up later this week, the Martin Luther King Jr. Breakfast and Day of Service in Troutman begins at 8:30 a.m. on Friday, January 12th. There is still time to register. Participants will meet at the Career Academy and Technical School in Troutman at 8:30 a.m. for a ceremony and enjoy a free breakfast, followed by a community service project. Former NFL player Eugene Robinson will be the speaker. Robinson played 16 years in the National Football League, including 3 Super Bowls with a win in 1996. He also has played in 3 Pro Bowls. He is currently ranked 12th on the all-time interception list with 57. Robinson lives in Charlotte. In addition to being a co-host of WCNC's Charlotte Today, Robinson currently works as a broadcast analyst for the Carolina Panthers and as a high school football, wrestling, and track coach at Charlotte Christian High School. He does some preaching and motivational speaking to charities, churches, and other civic organizations throughout the Carolinas. Community members can join the celebration for King's legacy for both the breakfast and the service project, or just one or the other. That coming up later this week here in Troutman. Now, Joe, producer Joe, if I could turn to you as we're coming up on a break here, just as a trivia question. Eugene Robinson, our speaker coming up, played with the NFL. He's got a Super Bowl win, 1996. What was the team?
You know, I might have to tease that one. It sounds like we're coming up on a break.
Didn't know if you knew that one off the top of your head, or if that's something we'd have to research. We're going to turn to Dr. Google during the commercial.
We might. I promise I won't cheat.
NFL statisticians are yelling at their radios right now the correct answer. You're listening to the News Drive at 5. I'm Patrick Reynolds. We'll be back right after this.
This is the part where we tell you we're going to bring you more talk before we bring you more talk.
1059, 100.7.
WSIC.
Well, enjoy your Monday. Probably just want a little something extra on the arms to keep you warm today. We have sunshine with highs in the upper 40s, but we need to pay attention to our Tuesday. Use today as your day to tie things down. Maybe secure some loose items in the yard. We have a lot of rain and a lot of wind on the way for our Tuesday. Some of that rain could be quite heavy at times. Winds gusting over 40 miles per hour as we work our way later in the day. We'll need to watch for flooding and the chance for a couple thunderstorms, too. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Meyers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Rocky Lynn is playing at Kane Center for the Arts Saturday, January 20th. Having performed all over the world, written hit songs, and mentored artists, Rocky Lynn is making another stop here at home. Rocky Lynn, Saturday, January 20th, kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Quilters and knitters unite! The Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza is happening this month at the Statesville Civic Center, Friday, January 26th and 27th. Admission is $5. Come explore the many beautiful fabrics, styles, and maybe even buy a new sewing machine. The Quilting and Needle Art Extravaganza at Statesville Civic Center on January 26th and 27th. Birkdale on Ice is still going on through January 28th. Time to lace up your skates and hit the ice. To make sure you can skate when you want, we recommend you making a reservation. For skate session info, including times and pricing, visit birkdalevillage.com. Mooresville Parks and Recreation presents The Hitmen of Country, playing at the Charles Mack Citizen Center Friday, January 19th. Love country music? The Hitmen of Country have toured and recorded with some of the country's greatest artists, like Keith Urban, Trace Adkins, Travis Tritt, and Jason Aldean. For more information, go to visitmooresville.com. That's visitmooresville.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Folks, you know Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department? We service vehicles the King of Price way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive. Whatever the season is, Randy Marion service departments have you covered. Come see us today because, folks, again, you know we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com.
If it's local, you don't need to go anywhere else.
The local talk leader. Talk Radio 105.9 and 100.7.
WSIC.
Welcome back to the News Drive at 5 here in WSIC News Talk Radio. I am Patrick Reynolds. You're listening on 105.9 FM in North Charlotte and Lake Norman, 100.7 FM AM in Iredell County and Statesville. Anywhere in the world, WSICnews.com, and our platform of social media, WSIC News on Facebook, X, YouTube, and LinkedIn. As we talked at the top of the hour, our lead story is this storm system that is approaching our way for Tuesday, January the 9th, as we talk to you live here on January the 8th, 2024. So Tuesday, January the 9th, we have a significant storm system with some wind and some rain approaching the Lake Norman and Charlotte area. And we have breaking news during the news drive at 5, as Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system has closed for Tuesday, January the 9th. Just in case you're listening to a replay of the show, want to make sure as our information is accurate from when you're listening to it, as this show is repeated overnight as well. We are doing this live Monday, January the 8th. So Tuesday, January the 9th, CMC schools are closed. We will keep you up to date and keeping an eye on some other school systems and other events in the area that may pop up with some news updates, schedule, anything like that during our show from now until the top of the hour. And to answer our trivia question, 1996 Super Bowl winner was the Green Bay Packers. The Pack. Yeah. I'll have it. It happened during a commercial, but I actually did remember that without Googling it. It was somewhat of a guess. I didn't think, well, it wasn't a slam dunk that I'd put serious money on it, but I guessed correctly.
You did a good job. You
Thank
did better than I did.
Yeah. Well, I figured I'd bow down to you for your expertise there. Once in a while, the blind squirrel gets a nut.
Yeah. Sometimes when things are before your time, you just don't quite know it as well.
You're not that young, are you?
I was born. I'm a '97 baby.
You're a '97, so that Super Bowl happened before you were born.
Just a little bit.
I just felt slightly more mature than I did 5 seconds ago. I didn't know you were that young.
Oh, I'm sorry to break that news to you.
That's okay. That's okay. No, I appreciate your youthful enthusiasm. Keeps me young, too. That's right.
Beautiful thing.
Yes, it is. So thank you for spending your afternoon with us and your drive home here at the News Drive at 5. Stories to keep you updated on as we roll through the afternoon. There is a new golf course opening up here in the Statesville area January 13th. The former Larkin Golf Club, the transformation began what the owners will predict will become a public regional entertainment destination. How did this happen? It began with an email. The president of Lakecations LLC, Todd, I'll say Senf, I hope I pronounced his last name correctly, learned that Wingate University was selling the golf course it had been gifted in Statesville. He sent an email to a group of golf buddies, most of whom work in the auto racing industry, to see if anyone was interested in buying the course. NASCAR play-by-play commentator Rick Allen was among those who received the email. He and other members of the Golf Guys Tour were intrigued by the proposal and arranged to play around at the course. Allen said, after 6 holes, we were blown away because it was such a nice course. The location just off I-77, fastest growing county of 200,000 people, that's us in Iredell, was icing on the cake. Rick Allen added, it looked like there was such a boom in the area taking place, we really wanted to be a part of it. The ownership group, which includes Daytona 500 winners Michael Waltrip and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., decided to make an offer. As Allen said, the next thing you know, we owned a golf course, including the acquisition of the golf course and the spacious clubhouse. Significant upgrades to both were put in. The founders have invested about $600 million in what is appropriately titled now the 500 Club. The grand opening is scheduled for Saturday, January 13th. From 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. The event includes a ribbon-cutting ceremony, food and beverages, a putting contest, golf simulators, cornhole, and appearances by NASCAR personalities. The event is open to the public. Now, the clubhouse was gutted and has been completely renovated. It features a restaurant with a diverse menu and a sports bar. There is also a new putting course. Golf simulators have been ordered. There are plans to add hitting bays, video games, and outdoor pickleball courts in the next few months. The golf course has also been upgraded with new greens, new bunkers, and 2 new bridges, one of which will be named the Jude Bridge in honor of beloved golf course employee Jude McAlphin, who died in April. So the 500 Club will have their ribbon cutting this Saturday, January 13th, here in Statesville. Joe, does that be something that, as a golfer that you are, would you jump on board with that?
The last time I went golfing, I shot pretty well, actually. For myself. I don't know how many people out there are familiar, but I shot a 53 on the front 9. We're still trying to get under 100.
Mm-hmm.
And then we stopped tracking our scores on the back 9 because we lost way too. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden we couldn't go straight. So, my golf skills are not that great.
I consider my golf game and my bowling game similar. If I break 100 on either, that's a really, really good day.
There you go.
I could also pair my golf game to singing. As I told somebody recently, I don't sing. They corrected me and said, yes, you do sing. You just sing poorly. Say, well, I would call my golf game the same.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd agree with that one.
So the 500 Club opening up or having a ribbon cutting this Saturday, January the 13th. I got a new set of clubs a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Or starter clubs to match my skill level. I was finding myself getting invited to a lot of charity fundraisers around the area and declining the invitations because I did not know how to play golf. I still play poorly, but I said I needed to be a part of this. If nothing else, you are raising money and doing something for a good cause.
Right.
I wanted to be a part of that, and it was a good part of the community. There's a lot of strong people around here in our WSIC family. And I consider it my singing game as well. I was like, I don't do well, but I'm good enough to have some clubs, hit the ball, and raise some money for a good cause. So just, I'm not a threat for any kind of victory for sure.
I'm right with you.
You and I should play then.
We could. You know, when I first started playing golf, I didn't know if I was a lefty or a righty.
Really?
I grew up playing baseball, and I was a switch hitter in baseball. So when I started playing golf, it was like, which way should I do it? Settled on righty.
Okay.
But for a while, I was a left-handed swinger and a right-handed putter. It was weird.
That's weird.
It was very
that's
weird.
kind of cool. Producer Bill on the morning show down in our Cornelius studios is a lefty.
Oh,
and
yes, he is.
He used to use that as an excuse not to play.
That's no excuse. I got left-handed clubs. I can give them to him. I don't use them anymore.
I was listening to him. Well, I think he does play now. I was listening to him and Justin Kazepis on the way up here this afternoon.
Okay.
With their afternoon show on Mondays, and he. Bill let us in on that. I'm a lefty, but that excuse doesn't fly anymore.
It doesn't. It doesn't. There are left-handed clubs.
There are left-handed clubs. So we're rolling into the sports world right now anyway with all this golf talk here. I think it's cool that this new 500 club is opening up here in Statesville.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Scoreboard coming up at the top of the hour, which we chatted a little bit about this morning as you and I made guest shots on Good Morning LKN with Justin and Mamie. Big game tonight. That's about the 5th time today someone said that to me.
I know, right?
Big game tonight, right?
You know what? And I usually go right for the lead stories, but that one, I think it needs to go on the back burner today.
Really?
Because we have a lot of NFL news. The regular season ending, coaches being fired.
Yeah.
We had another firing here in the Panthers organization with the GM, Scott Fitterer, is out. We have a lot of updates on who they're looking at, who they've requested to interview. But yeah, that is the biggest story is the national championship, obviously.
I used to work in the NASCAR industry, and the Monday after the last race of the season was always Black Monday. In that, if you went out to I-77, you'd have guys in their trucks. You'd see the toolboxes rolling up and down as they were trying to figure out their next move as the shops cleaned house. It was a tough industry.
It is.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of NFL moves plus the college championship.
Plus the college championship.
You got a pick for the college championship?
I've been saying Washington.
Okay.
I do. You know, not only because I think Michael Penix is a really great player and whatever team he goes to is going to get a real nice player.
Yes.
I
agree.
think it would just be poetic justice for the Pac-12 to leave college football with a championship in football.
Fair enough.
So I just, with all the news earlier this year of the Pac-12 being gone and teams getting scooped up by other conferences, I just think it would be, and they were the best conference this year, in my opinion. I just think it'd be poetic justice that they go out on top.
I find that much more accurate. I can't believe Justin was asking us who the NASCAR Cup Series champion was going to be in January. Like,
I know.
Bro, we haven't even taken a lap of practice yet.
Sometimes his questions stump me so bad, I just have to laugh. I just can't. I can't. It's early in the morning for me.
For the record, I will take Michigan for tonight's game because I think they're going to ride some momentum up there.
Okay.
I see what the Lions are doing, and I'm just feeling that energy in
We
that
need
upper
some kind of
Midwest.
bet. We need some kind of bet.
Okay, we'll look into that.
We'll have to figure it out.
Some kind of bet.
Yeah.
Not something just bourgeois like money, but we got to make it interesting.
I don't know. Maybe you have to do the show with like some weird hat on or something. I don't know.
Okay, like a cool shirt, something like that. I don't know.
No shirt. Oh,
hey. Family show. Good thing I work out. You have been listening to the News Drive at 5 here on WSIC News Talk Radio. I'm Patrick Reynolds. That buttons up our Monday afternoon with you. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See you tomorrow, everybody.
The new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville, North Charlotte.